Hey, how you guys doing?
Hi,
Good. How are
Steve.
you?
I'm doing great. My first question is for Matthew. Matthew, having most of your scenes with people like Angela Bassett and Robert De Niro, does that make your job 10 times easier, or is it a little harder because you got to play ball now every time?
No, no. If you got a game, if you play, I don't know if you ever play tennis or something.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
If you're pretty good and you're playing with somebody who's not as good, you have to change your game. So when you're playing with somebody on the level of Lizzie Kaplan or Angela Bassett, and Bob, mainly the three actors that I work with, it allows you to up your game, and you get to play hard. You can smash the ball, and they're going to smash it right back to you. They're going to put a spin on it. They're going to twist it up. So as an artist, I know as a director, you long to have people that bring that A game, so that you can sharpen your game.
Yeah, no, I love that answer. And I love comparing it with tennis. That makes total sense. And Leslie, I actually love when I was watching the show how I can actually see the darker scenes in the show. Are you consciously aware as a director of that being a common complaint of some scenes in other shows where it's like too dark and they can't even see what's going on?
That's
Oh,
an interesting question. I feel like you want to tell a powerful story well. And if people are struggling to to make it out just on a visual level, I think you're missing something. I think, our show looks very dramatic. It's very painterly. I think it's incredibly appropriate for what the story is.
mhm.
I mean, we're dealing with, it's a paranoid conspiracy thriller about truth. What is truth in a post-truth world? How do we deal when fact is we don't even share the same facts? We're conflating opinion and fact. These are all things that are visual themes in the show. And I want to be sure that those land, but not in a pedantic way, in a character storytelling way. And of course, when you have this kind of dream team to be playing with, you know, you play tennis the best you can.
Oh yeah, and you light up those tennis players. You frame them perfectly. Their performances on the court are amazing. Matthew, when you look back at your legendary career, what will stay with you the most, or you'll remember the most from playing House Speaker Richard Dryer?
Yeah.
Um, I think, I was a teenager when I moved to New York City to be an actor, and it was because of Robert De Niro and Al Pacino and Chris Walken, Dustin Hoffman, actors of that caliber that all had grown up in New York. And, that was the gold standard back when I was beginning my career. And so to have that come full circle where I finally get the opportunity to work with Mr. De Niro, that'll be a big moment. I also had the opportunity to work with Al Pacino on an Oliver Stone movie called Any Given Sunday, and both of them. The thing about you're meeting people who I think it's funny when people tell people like, "Oh, shut up! You're just an actor. What do you know?" Like when they say to basketball players, "Just shut up and dribble." That these kind of things. Robert De Niro and Al Pacino have worked with some of the greatest artists in the history of the world. And to be an artist, to be successful at something like that, you have to be so smart. You have to be so worldly. You have to see yourself in another human being. And I can't think of a greater, more important thing for us as individuals than to be able to see ourselves in another person. That Harper Lee in her book, To Kill a Mockingbird, says that we never really understand another person until we get inside their skin and move around in it. And that's what actors do. That's what directors do. You have to get in the skin of these characters and understand it and interpret it. So, for all those people who think that, oh, you just shut up and act, I'm not interested in your opinions or,
And you have to have empathy.
you
I
have
mean,
to
it's
have
where
empathy.
empathy comes from and understanding.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I have to say, I know when I start a project, you have to become a mini expert on this world. You're thrust into a world you may or may not know anything about.
100%.
Like, obviously, with Homeland, I know a lot about spies. I've met with a lot of heads of intelligence services around the world. But I didn't know, I'd heard of a zero-day event, but I read every book about zero-day events that existed. Yeah. And that's what we have to do to prepare to tell a story about this and have it feel realistically real, and to have compelling characters that are layered and complicated and complex. So I think that's the work that goes on behind the scenes. And you want to know that your actors are doing that, and your director and your production designer, we're all having to do that work to tell the story in the best possible way.
Well, that was an amazing way to end the interview. That was a home runner for keeping the sport theme going from you two. So thank you. Everybody watch Zero Day and their incredible work on the show on Netflix. Thank you, Matthew and Lesli. Hope to talk to you in the future.
Thanks so much. Great
Thank you
to
very
talk to you.
much.